six financial benefits of working with an MSP. Very good points in there. What did you think?
So I thought it made a lot of really good points, like you said. I really, kind of the one that stood out to me the most was when it was talking about increasing efficiency and competitiveness. Because I think a lot of times when you're thinking about, how you're going to manage your company's IT, you're thinking mostly internally, right? Not externally. So, if you were to pull up the classic SWOT analysis, you're not looking at opportunities and threats. You're just thinking about it in terms of strengths and weaknesses. So really what I thought was interesting about this particular piece was that it highlighted that the strength of your IT environment can be a competitive advantage. And working with an MSP gives you access to people with varying specialties, so they know a lot about, they're well versed, and it is their job to know a lot about whether it's a compliance or some other piece of your IT kind of structure. That's what they do every day. And when there's a problem or something arises, it's a lot easier to address it immediately and keep going. So nothing really sets you back or halts business, so to speak.
I agree. We have seasoned professionals here. We have our techs who have many certs that they take, just rigorous education exams, and they keep upholding that and just stay true to what goes on in the industry. So I think there's definitely a competitive advantage there.
For sure. And you brought up certs, and we one of our core values at Charles IT is endless improvement. So we have such a strong focus on learning and pursuing new endeavors and being curious and seeking knowledge. But that does come at a cost. So if you're thinking about it from kind of an internal IT perspective versus an MSP, yes, you can absolutely follow that same kind of path that our company has, where you have certification paths and everything like that, but depending on the size and scale of your IT department, you may just not have the time. I mean, it's if you have a smaller department, a lot of their time is going to be spent on help desk tickets, focusing on the day-to-day, which doesn't leave a lot of wiggle room for those certs that you're talking about.
And then there's increased efficiency in which you don't have to constantly hire and train, and companies get interns to do their internal IT, and those come and go. It's like a rotating door, and spending that time on training and those resources kind of put you at a setback. And when you can have this team who just knows what they're doing and is educated on everything every day.
Yeah, it's definitely, I think, the cost of hiring is huge, especially today. And there's a lot of training that goes into it. I mean, when you have a new hire, you kind of have to give them at least 6 months to a year to really kind of settle in, get up to speed. So that's a lot of time, and it's a big commitment.
That's right. It also touched upon vendor management. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it's it's one of these things, and I feel like we bring it up at a pretty good rate in our posts, but it's definitely something that kind of gets forgotten when thinking about IT support and IT services. And really kind of the benefit there, especially on the financial side, is that you get the time savings, you get things resolved quicker. You have someone that has a relationship, you have that one person, either with us it would likely be your team lead, that you can connect with and say, hey, we're experiencing this problem, or we need more of XYZ, and that team lead will have a really close relationship with the vendor, will be able to reach them much faster than someone who maybe didn't take time to develop that kind of real relationship. that we really kind of stress here. And you'll either get, maybe it comes out in better pricing on hardware or even software items. Maybe it comes out in a faster turnaround, better service. There are a whole number of different ways where having an MSP manage those vendor relationships, it just saves you the time, saves you the headache, gives you that time back to, do your day-to-day job. Whether, you're fully outsourcing, and that means that you get to do your job that's unrelated to IT, or you have that kind of smaller IT department in-house and you're only outsourcing a couple things. Vendor management it's a lot of time that goes into it, and that can become a large cost. So that's, I think, a really key area where businesses can look to kind of save money and see kind of a financial benefit of working with an MSP.
It seems like it's all about saving time. Time is of the essence, and time is money. So it might be beneficial for some people to outsource an MSP.
Absolutely, and not just that, but the ability to have someone looking out for you, and really getting to know your company, getting to know your employees, while also having that super extensive industry knowledge, and not to mention the technical knowledge, helps your MSP really cater the solutions that they recommend. I know every time we start working with a new client, we do an OML assessment, which basically tells us exactly what situation we're walking into, so that we can tailor our recommendations in terms of support or services. If they're asking for hardware or software, we know exactly what the environment is, and we can say, okay, holes exist here, here, and here, and to fix those holes, you need X, Y, and Z. And then we recommend, based on how your employees like to work, how you do business, where you do business, all of those things. Like, these are the other recommendations that will really help ensure that you have a strong security posture. And I think that's one of the biggest things that an MSP can do, because maybe it's not that obvious calculation that you can get from calculating the cost of time, right? But it is something where you can say, all right, if we have all of these things in place and we avoid a breach, we avoid data loss, we avoid a natural disaster, whatever it may be, that could save your company as a whole. So that's huge.
It's so beneficial, and I love that we do those OML assessments, because it's not a cookie cutter sort of approach that we take to finding the right solutions for you. We really deep dive into who you are and what you do and how we can best help you.
Yeah, I mean, I love it, and it's there's no other time where you would take that cookie cutter approach, right? Like, you never go into an undergraduate program and say everybody's going to be an English major. And because that's what we do. No, like, you offer so many different things because different people will fit different programs, just like different companies will fit different services and solutions. Just like a healthcare company is going to need a different set of services and a different set of tools than a manufacturing company doing work for the DoD. So it's really, I love that we take into consideration everyone's unique experience, and also, not to mention during those OML assessments, get to know the people there, because yes, we're an IT company, but it's really it's all about people. It's all about relationships, and if we can understand how people like to work in the companies that we service, in our clients' businesses, then we can really provide that kind of best-in-class service, which, I personally think every MSP should be doing. I don't think anyone should do that cookie-cutter approach, because maybe you fix some problems, but maybe you over Band-Aid, or
It can happen.
however it can. So lots of things that can happen when you're kind of spaghetti on the wall approach.
Yeah.
But I love that we're kind of more personalized and strategic about what we recommend and when we recommend it.
And it just all goes back to that previous article about our rockstar customer service.
Yes, I love that one. Such a good one.
Well, I can't wait to see what you have next week.
I know.